So this iconic video clip of MJ keeps coming up in my feed, and it has MJ on stage doing a song, and a female fan, who knows how old she is, ends up on stage. And it's this kind of iconic moment where it's like you think the fan and the artist are like having a bonding moment. But little do you know, in that moment, that I am pretty certain MJ is actually really, really, really scared, and it triggered an anxiety attack.
That is
Because as you can see, after he's sort of holding her, and actually with a lot of victims of this kind of constant trauma, okay, so constant trauma of people using you and needing you for to fulfill their emotional needs, to fulfill their physical needs. It gets to a point with, especially with somebody that is really high profile, where they can't really take it anymore. So MJ, as you may know, was a victim of violence all throughout his life. And, he has several peculiarities about him. Some people say that he was actually a victim of mental illness. Even some people even say autism. Some people say Tourette's. But he was a victim of extreme physical violence and even torture throughout his life, and exploitation. So as a part of his agreements and arrangements, he had to keep quiet about a lot of things, and therefore the money would be made. And that happens a lot with exploited people. So what I want to say about this video clip is people have misperceived a lot of the things that MJ does. And they misperceive him because he was heavily financially exploited. So under this amount of pressure, you can see that the girl, who may not even be of age, of legal age, has come up on stage, which is already a little bit weird, that she may be underage, and she approaches MJ, and she grabs him and starts trying to kiss him on the mouth, and is kissing his face and neck, So he's already trying to do some sort of, I think, combatives with her, as far as trying to get her to security pretty much immediately, because this wasn't really a set up thing, okay, and he has to go on with the show, and he doesn't know her. Now, he might be more affectionate with people he knows, or especially with people that he feels like he has a paternal relationship with, where there would be familial touch, not perversion, okay? But he doesn't know this girl. She ends up on stage. This is Buenos Aires. He's not in the United States. She ends up on stage. She's all over him. She's not a very, very unattractive girl. He clearly, we've never seen her come up as somebody that he knows or was, if she's not somebody that was in the headlines that he was dating. And to me, she looks like she could be a minor, but she has a pretty face. She doesn't look bad, but she is acting completely out of control, which is common of MJ fans. So she gets up on stage, grabs him, won't let go. She's kissing all over him. She ends up kissing his mouth. You can see that he's sort of smiling, and he's actually pursing his lips. If he wanted to have a deep kiss with the hot blonde, he would just, maybe he would, if he was that type of person, maybe he would have really kissed her. But his mouth is, his lips are pursed. I mean, I don't know if he was in a relationship at the time of this video, but to be perfectly honest, he's like smiling in a way that tells me, that says, it sends a message that he's trying to calm her down, sort of, and instead of blaming people, I feel like Michael makes excuses for people. This is typical of my fans, and I love them, and I care about them, and I hope she's okay. Maybe she's lost her friends or family, and she's scared, or whatever. And maybe he'd make up some sort of excuse. Well, then, after she gets pulled away, you can see how he crouches to the ground, and he's got the mic to his mouth. Okay, he's starting to get dizzy. Okay, so he, despite how he felt about the experience, it was an invasion of his space, invasion of his body. She assaulted him publicly on stage and probably embarrassed him a lot and triggered him based on his own personal trauma and violence from his past, and how he had extreme anxiety to begin with. So the thing is, this was a common thing with him, and you can see it looks like he's about to vomit, which was something that he describes in some of his interviews, is when, for instance, when his father would be near, it got to a point when he started to literally vomit, and he would start to try to run away or escape his father if he knew his father was on the way. So I just wanted people to keep that in mind when they watch this video clip. This was not a hot take with a fan, in my opinion. This was a really sad moment in MJ history yet again, where someone was taking advantage of MJ and basically using him as her own sort of like, it's almost like he's being used as some sort of toy, like a playmate, like a sexual playmate. And that's the trouble with how MJ was groomed, and the type of performer he was like that, and women did go crazy for him, but he actually wasn't really the sexual person that people would think. So there's some artists out there who they would love that, and they want women all over them. Okay, but I really don't think that MJ was that type of person. If you watch interviews, I mean, even with his own partners, and his family said he was not harmful to them, then that kind of thing, despite how he approached it and how maybe he acted about it, I mean, that really probably scared him.